Welcome, everyone, to our brand new podcast called Getting Deep with a PhD and a JD.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Today, we are doing something a little bit different. Oh, bless you. We're having allergies. And also, I need to mention, I had an eye issue. And so my eye is a little bit red and having little issues, but it's doing better. So it's okay. But as I was saying, today's episode is a little bit different from what we normally do. Today, we are doing an album review of one of the most anticipated albums and exciting albums, Beyonce's Cowboy Carter.
Yes. I mean, we couldn't let this issue go by because, we recently did an episode on, a more traditional Getting Deep episode on the Black roots of country music. And so, we thought, and since then the album actually, dropped, and it's had the internet in a chokehold since it dropped. So we had to talk about it.
Yes. You know what? When you said internet in a chokehold, I cannot think of a better way of explaining it because it has really brought a lot of feelings up. And so many people are saying these wonderful, wonderful things about it. But then there are people who are really saying some very, very negative things about it. And some people are really focusing on the music, but then there's some people who are focusing on other things that are not music related. And so I'm really glad we're doing this episode so that we can, provide our little 10 cents, 2 cents into the discussion. And hopefully this will get other people thinking and talking as well.
Yeah, yeah. So I think what we talked about was we would kind of talk about just, what songs are our favorite off of the album and our thoughts about the album in general. And I kind of think I want to start there with my thoughts on the album.
Okay,
in
let's start with the
general.
album. Okay.
And I just want to say that I'm not a beehive, but I've never been a fan like that to anyone. Like I love music. I
Me
love
too.
the artists that deliver the music and etc. But I've never been like a diehard fan like of anybody. But so I am a fan of Beyonce and I love her music. And I feel like this album it's just sounded just very beautiful to me. It sounded beautiful. I feel like I feel like the songs were diverse, but at the same time, I felt a sense of continuity with the songs and the sound of the different songs. Like, I just felt like they all sort of, flowed together, but still had their own distinctive elements and sound. And, this is an opinion of a layperson. Like, I'm not, trained in music or anything like that. So I know there are some reviews out there that get very specific and very detailed. I judge music on how it makes me feel. And it just made me feel good. Like, and made me, just have that sort of raw emotion. And I could listen to it from start to finish. So that's kind of how I felt about the album overall.
I just felt like the album was a listening masterpiece. It just tickled my senses, and it gave me all the feels. Starting from the American Requiem and ending to Amen. She really put a lot of time and thought into the flow of the album. And she starts off by telling you, look, this is not what you're used to hearing. In order for things, I'm trying to remember the quote, in order for things to stay the same, they need to change. So she's telling you, I am doing something different. This is who I am. I'm stepping up. I'm doing this. And she ends with the song Amen. And it also ends with the melody of the beginning song, American
Yeah, that's
Requiem.
what I thought. Yeah,
So
I
it
felt
like
like it.
circle,
Yeah.
it puts it
Mm-hmm.
into a nice package. And it also, the way she has this, it's set up so that it has DJs. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she
Mm-hmm.
has Willie Nelson,
Willie Nelson.
Dolly
Yeah.
Parton, Linda
Mm-hmm.
Martell, and they're
Mm-hmm.
in there, and it's like they're DJing, and it's like Willie Nelson says, "Hey, someone needs to, when you're not familiar with something, and somebody needs to turn you on to some good stuff." Well, he doesn't say stuff,
Yeah.
but this might be a family show, so I have to watch the language. He's saying, and this is what this is. It's almost like he's saying, you know me, and I'm introducing you to something new, something that's different. And I
Mm-hmm.
just loved it. I just felt like it was just this album in I'm not a person who listens to albums from front to end,
Right. Mm-hmm.
but that is the way I've been listening to this one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
and we both have our favorites, right?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what I want to hear. I want to hear your favorites. What are your favorites?
So, right. Okay, so the song that um appealed to me the most, just viscerally,
Uh-huh.
was Two Most Wanted. Or is that how they're saying it? Is it two, or is it just Most Wanted?
I
Like,
think
I don't.
it's Two Most Wanted, I
Is it Two
think.
Most Wanted? With her and Miley. And it was just the sound, them singing together. It
Uh-huh.
just made me feel the most. And I was just like, as soon as I heard it, because of course you hear the chatter, right? I heard the
Yeah.
chatter before
Yeah.
I heard the album. And people were talking about, I was like, hey, listen to this Beyonce Miley Cyrus. What are they talking about? And I heard it and I was just like, yes, this song is fire. Like, it just, the production, the way that they sound together,
Yes,
it's
together.
just beautiful. It's a beautiful song. So I like that one. I like Blackbird because I learned something new. I
I
didn't
did
know that
too.
I
I
didn't
did
know
too.
that that was a Beatles song, and that it was inspired by young Black girls who were victimized during Jim Crow. And I think he said it was, they had, when they saw the little girls trying to go to school, I think it's what it was. And that's what inspired them to do that song. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is a cover of that. So I learned something new from that
Mm-hmm.
song. And then I liked, gosh, I like, um, I'm trying to narrow it down. And then I liked the song with Post Malone.
Oh, yes, the Levi's jeans song. Of course, I like that one as well.
And then, okay, one last one. I'll go ahead and say, and 16 Carriages.
Yes, I like that one as well.
Yeah, so those are the ones that I would repeat a lot of them, but I would probably hit repeat on those the most, I would say.
I think 16 Carriages I really like because it gave me an insight into Beyonce's life. It feels very autobiographical to me.
Mm,
And
mm-hmm,
so, hearing her singing from about her life and, the 16 carriages, to me, that's like symbolizing the 16 years
mm-hmm.
old and started.
Yeah.
So it was just very, I think that song was well done. Interestingly, one of my favorite songs, I have so many. One of my favorite songs is Daughter.
Mm-hmm,
And just when the guitar, the strumming of the guitar, it reminds me a lot of the sound, like getting ready to listen to flamenco music. It's like
mm-hmm,
a,
mm-hmm.
uh, and I apologize. I am not a music person. I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah,
all of these things are called. I just know what I
yeah,
like.
yeah.
And so hearing it, it's so haunting. And I believe that I was reading about it and they said that it's about a murder.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and so I said I was going to do a little bit more research into it and see, what the language is. But I just like that. And I love how the the quote about, they say that I'm nothing like my father, but like if
Mm-hmm,
you hurt me, I'll be like my father. So
mm-hmm.
I just found that very interesting because I know that Beyonce has had an interesting relationship with her father.
Yeah.
And I know throughout my life I've had an interesting relationship with my father. So I just felt
Mm-hmm.
like that song just spoke to me.
It resonates. Yeah.
Yes, and I also liked let's see. Ah, yeah. I
Oh,
like the
yeah,
song
that's a
Yeah
good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah Yeah reminds me of, I don't Do you remember that song, These Boots Are Made for Walking? Okay. For some reason, when I heard Yada Yada, that it reminded me of that. And I love the fact that Linda Martell introduces the song and says,
Hmm.
genres.
Yeah.
And so really saying, well, people are
What is the
making a
genre?
huge deal out of genres. What is a genre,
Hmm.
And I love
Hmm.
it because one of the criticisms that we hear is this is not a country album. It's not a country
Hmm.
album. And she told you, she said, this is not a country album. This is a Beyonce album.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And I love it. I love that she says that. She's not
Hmm.
claiming that it is anything other than what she has produced and is putting on.
And it just talks about her, musicians are artists. They
Right.
create.
Right.
And so, if you know a creative, you know that they don't like being in a box. They're
Mhm.
they're not going to be in a box. They're going to create something that resonates with them in some sort of way, that makes them feel a certain emotion, that allows them to express a certain emotion. That's what this is. But I kind of wonder, when she says that, it's like, let's understand that country music, as we have been taught or uh, forced forced to perceive it as, isn't what it is. And as
Right.
a matter of fact, I'm Beyonce. I'm a black woman from Texas,
Texas.
and country is me, and I am country.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, I'm coming into your world and I'm doing this.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm doing me. And guess what? Part of me is
It's
country.
country. And you know what I love? And I'm going to go back to American Requiem because I could
Hmm.
not think of a better song to start this album with because she spells it out. She says, all my life people have been saying, I'm too country. And then I make a song, and I believe she was talking about what she did with the Chicks,
The Dixie Chick.
when
Oh,
she
oh,
when
the
she
Chick.
performed
Right.
Daddy's Lessons. And she said,
Yeah.
but then they said it doesn't fit into the country box. And
Yeah.
so she's telling you, people have said, I'm country,
Hmm.
and so
Yep.
I love the fact that she is doing what she wants to do in terms of music. Oh, I do want to say another song that I
Yes.
really like, Jolene, the
Oh,
cover of
yeah.
Jolene.
Hmm.
So I have always been a big Dolly Parton fan, and I've
Yeah.
always been a big Kenny Rogers and Willie
Mm-hmm.
Nelson. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people don't know this about me, but I grew up listening to a lot of country music. My mother
Oh,
loved country music.
yeah. Yeah.
When I would get dressed in the morning, that's what would be playing in
And
the
I didn't
morning.
even know that. And I'm her cousin. I didn't know that.
Yes, that's what we would be playing. We listened to in my house growing up, and this is gonna really date me. There was this radio station in Richmond, and it was
Mm-hmm.
WRVA, and they
Mm-hmm.
played like a lot of country, country music, Kenny Rogers, like that type of music. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what I grew up listening to in the mornings as I was getting
Mm-hmm.
dressed. And so it wasn't so I had some country music folks that I really did like, and Johnny Cash, and so older, more quote traditionalists in terms of country music.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I grew up listening to. And
Mm-hmm.
so I knew about Jolene, and it's a different feeling when you hear Beyonce sing it.
Oh,
She's like,
absolutely.
you don't want this heat.
Yeah.
She is telling this woman, you do not want this heat. And
Yeah.
and the original song, Dolly Parton sounds like she's very sad that this woman is trying to get her man.
Right.
But Beyonce is almost like she's like, I wish you would.
I wish you would.
I wish you would, because
Exactly.
you do not want this. So it's a different feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
I just love the feeling that it invokes. And I love the fact that Dolly Parton says, but mine was a redheaded hussy, and
Yeah.
yours is Becky with the good hair. So
Good.
I love it. I love it. So it
And
is,
Dolly wanted Beyonce to bring the smoke, because she, they a clip resurfaced from her 2 years ago, where she's like, "Oh yeah, I would love for Beyonce to do a cover of Jolene." Like, she said that 2 years ago.
yeah,
I feel like she knew that Beyonce would bring the smoke for that redheaded hussy, and the smoke
absolutely.
that she needed.
The smoke
and
that she needed.
that's what she wanted. And so I think that Beyonce delivered probably what Dolly wanted. I mean, she's come out and said that the cover, that she really likes the cover.
Mhm.
And so it probably met with whatever expectation that she had set for herself.
Right.
I want to ask you, did you hear, I talked about the fact that the album is still diverse as well. And do you feel like you heard a lot of 60s inspired music?
I feel like I did. And
So I felt like
Yaya. Yeah, I
I
feel,
wanted to
and
do
I feel
like
like,
that.
and she even has the swim in it. She's like, in the
Yeah,
song Yaya, she's like, shake it,
women.
swim
Yeah,
it,
shake it.
jerk
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And jerk
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah,
jerk
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
And
I
so
felt
I
like, yeah.
love it. Yes, I
hmm
absolutely love it. And in listening to that, someone said, that kind of, for some reason, it made me think of Tina Turner with the shimmies and like,
Yes.
she
Nut
could see.
bush. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
Nut
I thought that
bush.
is amazing. But
hmm
let me tell you the one thing that I love, love, love about this album. I mean, well, I've already said a lot of things. So I guess this is like the a million and five things. Okay. Anyway, I love the fact that Beyonce is really allowing other artists to to kind of hitch a ride on her star.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not saying that the other artists don't have their own stars, but
hmm
especially Black country artists. She has Black country artists and she's
Yeah.
really promoting them. And the
Yeah.
other thing is they are talented in their own right, but people would not have listened to them had it not been for Beyonce's album. I was
Exactly.
I was listening to something about Spotify and how once this album dropped, all of these Black country stars started to rise in terms of popularity because people were like, who are these people? I've never heard of them. And they wanted to hear. And also,
hmm
Linda Martell. I'd never heard of Linda Martell, and it made me
Right.
want to go and listen to her music.
hmm
And so I love it because to me, that's what people should do. Once they achieve a certain level, they should be able to help other people, you know,
And
to be
even
heard and seen as well. So I
and,
love
and
that. I love it.
and even the musicians that didn't get an opportunity to be on this album, she literally sent them their flowers, like Mickey Guyton and K Michelle,
Right.
because K Michelle has been talking about doing a country album for a very long time. Like, she's from Tennessee. When you hear her talk, once again, she is country, and country is her. So she wanted to do an album like that, so she had been working on that. So she sent her flowers. And then we know Mickey Guyton, she's a current country music star who has been very successful. People actually know her though,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think she did the national anthem for, I can't remember which sporting event she did it for, but she sang, and that's how people start like, who is Mickey Guyton? And they introduced her
Seriously.
as a country star. So yeah, you're right. I think that's another that's another positive from the album just as a whole. Was there anything that you thought could have been done better, or I don't know, or do you have a least favorite song?
Do I have a least favorite song? Honestly, I don't believe I have what I would say I don't like that song. I
Right,
don't think I have songs that I put on repeat, that
right.
if I was putting things on repeat, I would put on repeat more. But to be quite honest, every song on this album I listen to and I'm just like, wow, I love this song.
Yeah, and you don't want to fast
It's
forward through
and I
it.
don't want to fast forward. But all the songs have different meanings, and I think that I can hear different genres bubbling up in
Oh, most
the
definitely.
different songs, and I love it. And I love the fact that, like I said, the whole idea of having a DJ or DJs,
Mm-hmm.
multiple DJs pop in
Mm-hmm.
and say things, and because when I first saw this, 27 songs, and I thought, oh my goodness,
I
what is that going to be, like
know.
10 hours? And really,
Gosh.
it's because of these short pieces where people
Mm-hmm.
pop in and
Yeah,
introduce something,
but
and
it's still a
then
lot of music,
it's
though.
it's a lot of music, and for somebody to
Mm-hmm.
be this creative. Oh, Desert Eagle, I like that too, and I like Riverdance.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Sweet Honey Buckin', I like that.
yeah.
There's just so there's just so much. There's so much
Mm-hmm.
in this album.
Oh, yeah,
And
Desert
Oh,
Eagle.
Louisiana. Okay, so
Yeah.
one of the things that I will say is I love the song Oh, Louisiana. Now, what is interesting to me. And I honestly had to listen to this more than once to
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, okay, I get it. Because Beyonce's voice is altered. And
Mm-hmm.
so I thought that that it was one of her children or
Oh,
someone else.
mm-hmm.
And then I was looking at the credits and I said, "Oh no, it's
Right.
Beyonce." So it's just Beyonce's voice. So when I heard that, it was a little bit I was thinking, is she trying to sound like someone? Is she
Mm-hmm.
mocking? Is she supporting someone?
Yeah.
I was trying to think, okay, what is this? And then I listened to the song again and I was like, "Oh, I like it." Okay.
I
So
liked it.
that's
I liked it as soon as I heard it.
so that was the
And I
one
was
that I
like,
had to listen to more than once.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. And
And it was just because I couldn't tell who it was. That's what it
oh,
was.
okay.
That's what it
Yeah.
was.
And it's like, okay, she's got to give a shout out to Louisiana. And probably in most of her albums, she does, I feel like, give a shout out to Louisiana. She was raised in Texas, but her mom is from,
Mama's from
Louisiana.
Louisiana. And as you all know, our mamas
Yes,
from
they're from Louisiana
Louisiana.
as well. So,
Louisiana.
that resonates. I was going to say, um, so I feel like I heard when we talk about genres, right? I kind of feel like this was sort of a country fusion
Yes.
because, like I said, I heard the 60s sort of, time, era of
Uh-huh.
music, but I feel like I heard some house in there.
Yes, absolutely. There's some rap,
Hmm. Yeah, definitely rap. I think one of the songs she's rapping on, I just
right?
can't remember which one it is. And
Oh,
just
even operatic music in
opera,
Daughter.
yes, yes, I heard opera. So there was multiple genres fused into, what everyone is, characterizing as a country album.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
we haven't even
Hmm.
said anything about Beyonce's vocal range because
Yeah.
I've always thought, I've always thought that she had a nice voice.
Hmm.
I've always thought because I remember her from Destiny's Child and what
Hmm.
was that first one? Girls Time. I actually saw that on
Oh,
Star
you did
Search.
on
Yes,
Star
I'm
Search.
dating myself. I'm dating myself. Star Search. I was a
Uh-huh.
huge Star Search person. My brother and I
Me
used to
too.
love
Yeah,
Star
you
Search.
touched it too. Hmm.
So for those of you all who are younger, Google Star Search.
Yeah.
You'll see some familiar faces in there
Hmm.
when they were very young. Anyway,
Hmm.
but so I always thought she had a nice voice,
Hmm.
but it wasn't until this album that I was able to hear the range, and then
Hmm.
from rapping to all the way going to the opera sounds
Hmm.
and the range. I didn't realize the range.
Well, I realized it before this album. I feel like I let's see. I feel like I noticed it on the album that Halo was on.
Is that
Was
that
that
wasn't
Sasha Fierce?
Sasha Fierce?
It might have been Sasha
I think
Fierce.
it's I Am Sasha. Yeah,
And then
I think that's
and
the
then
one.
and then some of the concerts that she's had
Mm-hmm.
after that, I'm like, oh, okay, Beyonce.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
and then her song Love on Top.
Okay.
You know what
Okay.
I'm talking about?
Yeah, and that wasn't one of my favorites, and so that's
Hmm.
probably why I didn't really
Uh-huh.
focus on it. And okay, I know
Yeah.
there's some people from the Bay Hive. Don't get me. I love her. Don't come for me.
Right.
I love her. But yeah, I just love the fact that the world is now in a place, and it's not that the world is allowing Black women into country music. That's not what
Mhm.
it is. It's we are in a place where Black women are finally saying, this is what we want to do.
And we're just
These are the jumps. We're just going to do it. And
hmm
Black women have always been doing country music. Like you mentioned, there's some people that we didn't know about that
Yeah.
we, have since found out about. And
Yeah.
not just Black women, but Black men as well, Black community, we'll say
Yeah.
that. And so,
Yeah.
and also I wanted to mention Beyonce also gives like shout out to the ballroom community, like the LGBTQ ballroom community.
Uh-huh.
And she uses the
What on
term,
the Cowboy Carter?
yeah, and she uses the
I used
term in on Jolene, Banji. She says I'm a
Uh-huh.
Creole Banji bitch.
Uh-huh.
And I probably
What does
shouldn't have
that
said that.
mean?
That is Banji is it comes from like the gay house movement, like the
Hmm.
ballroom movement. It's kind
Hmm.
of like it's like an urban person.
Hmm.
And you have to Google it.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
believe she spells it Banjee.
Okay.
But I was curious, and so it's like she's giving a shout out to
Mm-hmm.
different communities. They may not
Mm-hmm.
be represented in the forefront. And
Right.
yeah, we've always known that Beyonce has really supported diversity, um,
Mm-hmm.
and sexual identity diversity is part of that. So
Absolutely. I mean, that was Renaissance. I mean,
yeah,
Renaissance was
yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
Renaissance was,
Yeah,
most definitely.
yeah.
So I think one of the things that you brought up just now, we want to kind of tell everybody that this album has sparked such conversation, such debate, and one of the things that we're going to do, one of our listeners actually requested, because that's what we asked you all to do. Thank you very much. Is for us to kind of go in depth with the African American women who have ventured historically in country music that we may not be aware of. And even, I think we ought to also connect it with contemporary artists that people aren't necessarily aware of. And we're going to do a full traditional Getting Deep episode about that.
Yes.
So that is coming. And some of the women that we discovered we need to put some extra time into. There's a couple of names that came up that we never heard of before, including Linda Martell on Beyonce's
Yes, we never
album,
heard of Linda Martell.
a woman named Elizabeth Cotton, a woman named Etta Baker, Tina Turner even did. And there are probably there's some albums that artists have done that we didn't even know about. Like Tina
Right.
Turner did a country album that's not in print right now, so it just really didn't carry over to contemporary time. And she did a whole country album, and there were other artists like you said. Let's see, Anita Pointer did
Yes, Anita
one.
Pointer did one.
Mm-hmm.
Did a country album.
Yeah, and there's another woman named Donna Mason. So we're gonna look into these folks and see what we can find, because as normal, sometimes our history gets erased, it gets whitewashed, all the things. So we're gonna do a deep dive into that. So that's coming.
Yeah. So we're super excited about it. I just love music. I love the fact that we can talk about music, and
Mm-hmm.
learn about music. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that the other thing is that music really speaks a lot to what's going on externally. So I'm excited about this next episode because it's
Yeah.
really going to help us to talk more about historical things going on and why people were not embraced in country music. And so we'll learn a lot more as we move through preparing for the episode. So really excited about that.
Good. I think that, I think we can sort of wrap it up now with this album review. Let us know what you think about us doing an
Yes.
album, because maybe we can kind of make this a regular, like every now and then, when an album that creates the buzz that an album like Cowboy Carter has done. Would you like to hear our opinion on it, and for us to do these album reviews
Absolutely. Yeah.
periodically? So let us know what you thought about our conversation about it. Did it make you think? Did it make you want to go back and listen to a song that maybe we said was one of our faves?
Right.
And
Oh, and you
yeah,
know what? You know what, Kimmy? I would
yeah,
love it if our listeners would comment and let us know what their favorite songs are
yeah,
from the
that would
album.
be good.
And if you have a song that you're just like, oh, I just wasn't feeling
Mm-hmm,
it, let us know as well. But I'm
mm-hmm.
really curious as to others' favorite songs because I know which ones I really, 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 really love. But I'd
Yeah,
love to hear yours as well.
yep,
So,
awesome. All
all
right,
right,
all
great
right.
episode.
That was
And so until next time, make sure you like and subscribe and share this with your friends. And
mhm,
share this with your friends. We really want to build up our subscriber base
mhm.
because we love doing this and we want to continue and
Yep,
grow. So
yep,
please let other people know as well.
yeah. And also comment.
And comment.
And
Comment.
yep. And until next time, bye.